In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys the top 10 teams to rebuild in Madden 23. So with all that being said, drop a like, consider subscribing, and let's get right into the video. Starting off the list at number 10, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, it's the Jaguars, but they've been in rebuild mode forever now. So I feel like they've been used a lot, so that's why I have them here at 10. However, they could use upgrades at wide receiver. They do have a good running back core in Travis Etienne and James Robinson. The offensive line is shaky, so that's definitely going to need an upgrade. For the defensive side, they have a young linebacking core that you can work with. Now, both safeties probably need to be upgraded, and the cornerback spot is pretty good for right now. I mean, they got Shaquille Griffin, Darius Williams, and Tyson Campbell. Finally, we get to the defensive line. Obviously, it could use some work, and their salary cap situation isn't all that bad. However, they did offer this huge contract to Christian Kirk in the offseason, so I don't know what you want to do with that. You can work around it. But other than that, the Jaguars at number 10 sounds pretty good. At number 9, I have the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, their quarterback situation is going to need addressed. However, on the defensive side, this is a young defense, which brings a lot of potential. In like 2 seasons, this could potentially be a top 5 defense. But it's mainly going to be the offense that needs to work here in this rebuild, especially the offensive line. I mean, they have some alright pieces in Ikem Ekwonu and Taylor Moton, but it could be a lot better. And then the tight end position, obviously that could be upgraded as well. However, the Carolina Panthers at number 9 sounds about right. Now at the number 8 spot, we have a team here that shows up often on these rebuild lists, and it's the New York Giants. Now I do think it's going to be a lot more fun this year to rebuild this team because of their rookies that they drafted last year and this year, such as Kadarius Toney from last year. They did get Evan Neal, also Kayvon Thibodeau. I think it's time for Daniel Jones to be done. I mean, what else is there to show? So you do have to get a new quarterback, a tight end would be needed, and also, again, you have to address the offensive line. Now, I do think that both of their tackle positions are locked in for the future. Also, another problem that you're going to have to deal with is Kenny Galladay's contract situation. So that is going to be up to you, but this defense is a little bit of a sleeper defense, I'd say, and that's why the Giants come in here at number 8. We're going to be staying in New York for this next one because at number 7, I have the New York Jets, and I feel like this is going to be one of the more fun rebuilds to do, just because you already got your franchise quarterback in Zach Wilson, so you don't really have to worry about doing that. Now, they did draft Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson as well, so getting to develop those guys should be really fun. This offensive line looks like the best that we've had so far in our rankings, so you don't really have to worry about that. Now, on the defensive side, this is where I think most of the upgrades need to happen, such as a cornerback, even though they did draft Sauce Gardner. But I just feel like the Jets should be a really fun rebuild to do this year, and that's why I have them here at number 7. Here at number 6, I think this is going to be a sleeper team, a team that most people expect are not going to be needing a rebuild. However, I could see it, and it's the Tennessee Titans. They've already drafted Malik Willis. I don't really know if you want to build around him here in Madden because he only has normal development, but they do have Treylon Burks right here at receiver. That was their first round pick basically. But the main theme around this rebuild is that the team is just getting really old, so you could probably go and compete for one more season before you have to tear the team apart. Next up at number 5, I have the Atlanta Falcons. The reason the Falcons are going to make for such a good rebuild is because they don't really have that much talent on the team. Their quarterback position is a question mark, but they do have this rookie Desmond Ridder who could possibly be the starting quarterback for this roster. Then their running back position is getting a little old, and for the wide receivers, they don't really have anyone that's proven themselves, but they do have this first round pick in Drake London, who can obviously be their number 1 target. The offensive line is really going to need to be rebuilt. Chris Lindstrom and Matt Hennessy could be little project players. Actually, Lindstrom, he's going to be here to stay. But then you do have your franchise player in Kyle Pitts right here at an 87. But on the defensive side, it's not looking too good. I mean, there are some bright spots in AJ Terrell and Arnold Ebiketie. But other than that, the team's just getting really old, and there's not much talent on the roster. So that's why I think the Falcons are going to make for an interesting rebuild. Next up at number 4, we got the Detroit Lions, who have a very, very good offensive line, and they're really young too. They also have a star tight end in TJ Hawkinson and a star running back in DeAndre Swift. But trying to find that number 1 receiver is going to be really interesting. Will it be Jamison Williams or Amon-Ra St. Brown? Now again, you're gonna have to address the quarterback position, but I think that's what makes rebuilds so fun, addressing the quarterback situation, because you get to bring in your own guy. Now on the defensive side, you do have Aiden Hutchinson, who's going to be your big piece on your defensive line, but other than that, it's the defense that really needs to be improved. But yeah, I have the Lions at number 4. At number 3, I have the Chicago Bears. They do have their star rookie quarterback in Justin Fields, so basically what you're going to want to do in this rebuild is just build around him. They have a solid running back in David Montgomery. However, the lacking part of this Bears offense is the receiving core. Now the offensive line, that's really got to be worked on. And now for the defensive side, they do still have some of their star pieces in Eddie Jackson, Jalen Johnson, and Roquan Smith. But if you want to keep this realistic, then you probably have to trade Roquan Smith. He is requesting a trade, so you can probably get back a lot of assets for him. But yeah, that's why the Bears come in here at number 3. Alright guys, at number 2, I have the Seattle Seahawks, who a lot of people are probably going to have up here at number 1 or number 2. But the reason I have Seattle up here is, yes, they are needing talent. You don't really get many opportunities at rebuilding really good teams, such as like the Seahawks. They used to be really good, but they lost Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner as well. And again, finding a quarterback is going to be the main problem in this rebuild. But you do have 2 very good wide receivers in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Especially DK Metcalf, he's really young as well. Then for the offensive line, this has been a problem with the Seahawks for the longest time, but they have started addressing it with Charles Cross, this left tackle, but it's going to need more work than that, so that's going to be up to you guys to do that. Then hopping over to the defense, they have Quandre Diggs, who is a very solid safety. Also, Blitz boy himself, Jamal Adams. If I was doing this rebuild personally, I'd probably trade him away. Now manning that defense up, we got Jordan Brooks, who is a very solid and young linebacker. But the Seattle Seahawks come here at number 2. And obviously the number 1 team that needs rebuilt in Madden 23 is the Houston Texans. Not much of a surprise. It's basically like an expansion team with the talent that they have on their roster, but they do have some bright spots, such as their quarterback Davis Mills, who I think could be a very solid quarterback, especially for a rebuild. Now they don't really have any receivers other than Brandon Cooks, but the offensive line, obviously it's going to need some work. Now they do have Kenyon Green, who is a hidden 72, and then they also have Laramie Tunsil, who personally I would probably try to acquire talent, because he's getting pretty old. On the defensive side, they do have Jalen Petrie, who is a safety, and Derek Stingley, who they took with the 3rd pick in the draft. Jonathan Grenard is also another very underrated player in the league, but other than that, dude, the Texans just need a lot of things done. So that's why I think that they're such a good rebuild team, because I like rebuilding my teams from scratch, and you know, with the Texans you're basically doing that. So yeah, that's my list of the top 10 teams to rebuild in Madden 23. If you guys enjoyed the video, again, drop a like if you haven't, and consider subscribing. I'd appreciate both of those things. Leave in the comment section what team you're going to be rebuilding in Madden 23. I'm interested to hear that. And with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.